Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. Bright and early Monday morning. Now the stage is set. We know the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game this coming Sunday. Let's talk about the NFC first.
We will, indeed. The NFC had some very interesting, had the biggest upset of all with Washington knocking off the Detroit Lions on Saturday night. Came as a big surprise. You could see as the season went on, the Washington Commanders getting a whole lot better. They'd worked into the system of Jaden Daniels, who is a rookie quarterback. And that system, which is based on all his passing and expertise at LSU, where he was an All-America, really worked into effect. And Washington just ran right by Detroit. Detroit could stop them at one point, but, hey, Washington gained too much of a commanding lead, they being the Commanders, and Detroit never could catch up. In a 45-31 game, it was a good game. Is it indicative of the fact that the Detroit Lions are not, or should say, over the hill? I don't think so. I think there's a way to go in the future years for them because they're a good team. But the Washington Commanders are the team right now. They'll play the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles had the advantage, of course, of playing at home, as they will next week. They played Washington twice this year, and it's a split, 1-1. And the Commanders won the game in Washington, or actually in suburban Baltimore, and they did it on a last-second touchdown. In Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagles were able to handle them, but not without a lot of difficulty. Washington's a good team. I think that'll be a very good football game, Washington-Philadelphia, and the winner going on to the Super Bowl. In the AFC, when they play Buffalo, they'll have to play a whole lot better. Because the Houston Ball Club out-statistic Kansas City by over 100 yards. It was 336 yards of offense for Houston, 212 for Kansas City. And they had massive other offensive stats over them. So how did Kansas City win the game? Defense and discipline. 8 sacks of C.J. Stroud and 8 penalties against the Houston Texans, and that really cost them. Kansas City's going to have to play a whole lot better. I think they will. I think Kansas City and Philadelphia probably end up in the Super Bowl. That's my guess.
That's your guess. Well, I think it is what it is. The last time we met the Buffalo Bills, we were short about 5 stars. So it's going to be a different scene. But you're right. It looked a little slow start, but the defense were just on fire on Saturday. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And you are right. The offense needs to click a little bit faster if we need any kind of hope on Sunday in Kansas City. And we will, of course, have that game on the station, as you're all used to. Mitch usually calls the game with Thanen, but because of NFL rules, the Westwood One broadcast is the one we will carry on Sunday, right after we kick things off with Ned Talk. And, it was a crazy good game Saturday. A little cold, but not too bad.
Are we
not
carrying
like Miami.
The Chiefs pregame show?
Yep. We'll have it all up until the Westwood One broadcast starts around 5:30. It just kind of depends on when that first
will begin
game.
Probably about 2 o'clock then.
Ish, depending on if they want to do longer coverage. I'm just kind of waiting for the schematics from both places so we can kind of have, if we can get the Mitch pregame before the Westwood One, that's what I want. And then we'll go back to the Mitch and Dan and postgame after the Westwood One broadcast. But that's all the stuff I have to worry about. All you got to worry about is the Chiefs winning, Ned. So we watched, or at least me personally felt like all weekend long was just incredible football. They couldn't have had better divisional rounds, in my opinion. But I can't remember which player it was who they were talking about. I think it was last night on either the Ravens or Bills, or it could have been the Eagles or Rams. He was literally going to wake up today and fly down to watch the national championship.
It was one of the Los Angeles Rams who played at Notre Dame last year.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, his season's done, and now he can just go party, I guess, tonight, and hopefully his college team can win. But your thoughts on the national championship tonight?
Many of the football pundits are picking Notre Dame to win over Ohio State. I can't believe it. Ohio State's an 8.5-point favorite in this one. They were a very powerful football team and explosive on offense. Now, Notre Dame is too, but Notre Dame plays a much more conservative level of football. They have big plays in their format, yes, but they are more prone to playing a conservative level. and Coach Freeman, who has done a terrific job with this football team. They have not lost a game since that massive upset to Northern Illinois in South Bend, and that was early in the season. How that happened, here the Irish go into College Station, Texas, and upset Texas A&M in the opener, come back and lose to Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is a MAC team, Mid-America Conference, Division I, but come on, going into South Bend, that shouldn't happen. Notre Dame has not lost since then, and they've won some very big games. They deserve to be in the national championship hunt. I think Ohio State beats them tonight. I think Ohio State is much quicker. I put a lot of credence in speed. Not that Notre Dame doesn't have any. They do. Jeremiah Love is one of the best running backs in all of football. But I do like the Ohio State quarterback, Will Howard, a transfer from Kansas State. Kansas State kind of kicked him out of school there. It replaced him with somebody else and didn't have anywhere the year. And Will Howard caught on at Ohio State, and he has really propelled that team. This will be a good game tonight. I do think Ohio State wins. They are an 8.5-point favorite, and I think the Buckeyes will be the national champions.
You putting any chocolate chips on this one, baby?
Don't have any.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's another story for another time. All right, Missouri State Bears, need something, and they're on the road this week. Did they find it elsewhere?
Well, they are on the road. They lost to Illinois State on Saturday afternoon at the same time the Chiefs were playing. Close game. The Bears played well against the Illinois State Redbirds, but not quite well enough, and lost at 74-68. Gave Illinois State a heck of a battle, but did fall, and the Bears are now 0-8 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Lady Bears played 2 games on the road and won both of them, Evansville and Indiana State. Both of the Drury teams won their games over Maryville University out of the St. Louis area. Drury got the wins in those. The Bears play again on Wednesday night, and they will be at Northern Iowa. As a matter of fact, they are staying on the road on this trip to Normal, Illinois, and to Northern Iowa, which is in Cedar Falls. So that game will be Wednesday night. Bears, they're going to get a win here. One of these days, they're going to get a win, and hopefully it'll be on Wednesday night.
Last but not least, the Tournament of Champions kicked off last Thursday in town. Who was the victor in that?
For the second time in their 2 appearances at the TFC, Link Academy from Branson got the win. They're just they are really a super basketball team. In the title game on Saturday, they beat Oak Ridge from Orlando, Florida, and beat them 67-55. It was a very good basketball game. The Link Academy team is really good. They are an academy team. They don't play in Misha here in Missouri. Several of these teams do play in their state championships. The Milton, Georgia team is a many-time Georgia state champion. But in this case, Link Academy has their own schedule. They're on the road much of the season, and they win much of the season. And they did win the Tournament of Champions. 21,000, a little over 21,000 in there for the entire 3 days. Very good attendance, as you knew it would be. Congratulations to all the individuals, Springfield Public School System and Bass Pro Shops for putting it on.
And it's always a blast, too, to have that in the city and kind of see if you're, I can't remember where I was at lunch on Friday and had a bus full of kids from one of the schools come through. And it's cool. It's good for the town. It's good for the city. It's good competition. And hopefully it continues for a long time, Ned. You have a good Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.